Dear subscribers, a disclaimer for this video. Watch the video until the end, and at the end, you will learn how to buy an apartment in this complex cheaper than from the developer, and why you should do it with the company Bryonix. Let's get started. Hello, dear ladies and gentlemen. My name is Artem, and I am a real estate sales manager in the city of Batumi from the company Bryonix, and you are on our YouTube channel. And before we start our review, I want to tell you, dear ladies and gentlemen, to like and subscribe to this channel. We will be glad to have you. And today in our review, we will tell you about the Summer 365 complex. This is the most well thought out, multifunctional, interesting, conceptually architectural, and overall in every way complex that is currently being built in Batumi. Today you will learn, hear, and see an interview with the developer's manager. You will look at the construction site, learn about the infrastructure of this complex, and what awaits you when buying an apartment in the Summer 365 complex. This and much more in just a few seconds. We are starting. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we are in the airport area. Why is it called that? Well, because here we have the Batumi International Airport, where although not frequently, planes do land. But the airport is not the most important thing. The most important thing is the complex we are talking about, which is the Summer 365 complex, located at the construction site behind this building with blue barrels on the roof. The complex is named Summer, and it will consist of 3 blocks. These blocks will be named June, July, and August. June will have 10 floors, July will have 12, and August will have 16. Accordingly, the complex will be arranged in the shape of the letter P. That is, June will face the mountains, July will face the city, and August will face the sea. What views, you ask me? You might immediately say Artem, but it is located so deep. First of all, what we looked at was towards the airport. You will have a piece of the sea and the Turkish mountains. Next, we will look together. If it's from June, we will have a panoramic view of the mountains, because there is a private sector further on. And from August, if we talk about the direct view from the balcony, there, firstly, you will also see part of the mountains and the sea, but I will tell you more about this a little later. And there will be, although not panoramic, a view towards the sea, which is literally 500 meters from this complex. These are truly apartments for living. If you want a quiet, cozy, comfortable place to live with your children, your significant other, or even alone, and it is important to you to have good neighbors, to be able to talk to people, and to live in a quality place, then this project of just 450 apartments across 3 blocks is for you. That's not a lot. The blocks themselves are not high-rise. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the office of the developer company Smart Development, which is building the Summer 365 project. And next to me is the sales manager of this company. His name is Dima. Dima, first of all, hello. Nice to see you. The appearance of your complex, let's talk about how you came to this, how you designed it, with whom, and what it represents overall.
Yes, you noted correctly. We have a complicated history with the architecture and overall appearance of the complex. We decided to go all out, and for that we needed a team of professionals. A team of AI architects came to our aid, meaning some architects from there and some architects who are here on site. Together they created the architecture that I will talk about. We have incorporated many interesting stories because Georgia, where we are located, has so much to offer. It is rich and vibrant. Similarly, our complex should also be rich and vibrant. The first thing I would like to highlight in our architecture is the philosophy of the stopriks. If we, for example, imagine a stack of books lying down, where one book is placed on top of another, it basically looks like a standing building. Each book is like a floor. This is exactly what we took as the basis for our monolith of each building. And in each building, each floor is slightly shifted, turned relative to the other. Thus, it looks like 3 large stacks of books piled in the middle of a trampoline. The next thing we incorporated into the architecture of our complex is Georgian culture and Georgian history. In order to find the right identity for the complex, we had a team of sociologists and historians working for a whole year, studying local folklore, local culture, and history. We had many different ideas, but we settled on something like Luji Supra. This is a Georgian national traditional tablecloth. It was recognized as an intangible heritage of Georgia in 2017 and is protected by UNESCO on this tablecloth. First of all, this tablecloth was previously used to serve the most distinguished guests or for a big celebration. It precisely reflects the everyday life and family atmosphere of a home in Georgia, which is what we want to reflect in our complex. We also wanted very much to incorporate the reflection of Georgian nature and specifically the nature of Batumi and Ajara into our complex. What do we know about Batumi? It is an evergreen city by the sea. And our complex was also supposed to become an evergreen complex that reflects something maritime. And the exterior facade is also designed in this style. It is not just dark blue, but made of special glass bricks that will shimmer in the sun, just like the surface of the sea shimmers in the sunlight. Thus, our complex will reflect the philosophy of the sea from the outside. In addition, we also have a large courtyard with greenery, where plants from the botanical garden have been taken, and it will bloom all year round.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to add that these bricks will be laid out in a decorative style on a large scale. A picture will now appear on the screen. Take a look. You will see how it will look. And since we have talked about the cover of your book, let's now look inside and talk about what will greet the resident inside this house, about the infrastructure. It will include a large number of amenities. These include an open-air cinema, a barbershop, a pharmacy, a wine shop, a winery, and golf. To begin with, the amount of infrastructure is simply off the charts. Could you please explain how you are going to implement this?
That's right, we have a large amount of infrastructure, but it is designed to ensure that people can live comfortably and use everything without leaving the complex. Our commercial operations will already be running by the time the complex is being populated. How will we achieve this? Firstly, you will be able to rent commercial space from us at a very advantageous price, more advantageous than what is available on the market in Batumi. Next, we will have a rent-free period of up to a year after the project is completed. This means that a business can gain momentum without immediately falling into rental bondage, gradually picking up speed and then transitioning to paying rent. And the third element is that in each commercial space, the renovation will be done by the developer. So essentially, Artem, hypothetically speaking, if you want to open a coffee shop in our complex, we have a space for that, and you will get renovations from the developer, plus a rent-free period of up to a year. I think these are very favorable conditions for business, and there will be many interested parties.
So, in fact, as a starting businessman, I will just need to find workers, find equipment, set it up, and that's it. What about communications? I mean,
everything is done.
Everything is done. It is planned in the project of the house so that a person can just walk in, and all the communications are set up as if it were a coffee shop.
All the commercial spaces are planned out, and we know, yes, what type of business will be in each space, and we are preparing these premises accordingly. My top 3 properties. It's a difficult question. There's a desire to use everything there. I would definitely use the wellness center. That includes everything, such as fitness rooms, pools, and a spa. Definitely. I would sometimes go to the wine shop to buy wine. Where in Georgia can you go without wine? And probably I would have enjoyed the cinema, because if there is a cinema hall in the complex and you can watch something there, I would go there directly and watch.
I think we should talk about what people will live in all year round, namely the layouts, because in my opinion, these are some of the best layouts in Batumi.
So, Artem, answering your question about layouts. In Batumi, if we take many complexes together and look at them, probably in most of them, 80% will be studios and 20% will be other types of apartments. In our complex, it's the opposite. We have 10% studios and already 90%. 90% are all other apartments with 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and even 4 bedrooms. Percentage I. If we take apartments, well, for example, with 1 bedroom, let's look at them. They also come in different formats. There is an apartment suitable for 1 person, 44 square meters, which includes a bedroom, kitchen, living room, and bathroom. A compact, normal apartment, very convenient for 1 person. An apartment for 2, 50 square meters, with a kitchen and living room, a bedroom, a walk-in closet, and a large bathroom. This is also quite a comfortable option. By the way, this is one of our most standard apartments today. And for example, there is also an apartment with 1 bedroom, but with increased comfort. Where there is a bedroom, there is a walk-in closet. And we see that here in the bedroom, there is an additional large bathroom with a jacuzzi. And the apartment also has a separate room. This is a utility room, a storage room. There is a washing machine and a dryer. You can store some things there, bedding, towels, and so on. Here, for example, are a few options with one bedroom. The same applies to the apartments with two bedrooms. They come in various sizes, from 54 square meters to as much as 100 square meters. So, there is something for different lifestyles here. It could be a single person with a child, or a family with two children, or even a family with three children. In which case, there is an apartment with 3 bedrooms. Wow.
Listen, can you go back this numbering, which is 54 square meters, and you made 2 full bedrooms here?
This apartment is for people who absolutely need 2 bedrooms but prefer a smaller area. We borrowed this layout from some European projects. Yes, everything is correct here, as you notice, due to the fact that the bathroom has been moved and such a large living room has been created.
Well, people will now see how it is implemented. Here is the layout that we get. Based on my experience, when people come to me and say they need a 2-bedroom apartment, I tell them that if they want a good layout with 2 bedrooms, they need to look at a minimum of 70 square meters. And even then, they should consider doing a redesign. And here, if you have a limited budget but really need 2 bedrooms, I think this option will be just perfect.
First of all, our neighbors will be our employees, because many of us have bought apartments here ourselves. In this house, both the company's employees and founders, as well as our friends, will live. People who buy here have realized that Batumi is a great place to live. Those who are ready to live here for a long time are middle-class people, who understand what comfort is and want to live at a certain level of comfort. The CIS is mainly a Russian-speaking audience, but from all over the world, because we have buyers from America, buyers from Israel, buyers from Europe, and of course buyers from CIS countries, from Russia, Belarus, and Kazakhstan, but all these people are Russian-speaking. In general, these are people who want a peaceful, comfortable life, and as you correctly noted, a good neighborly one, who are ready to live in such a community and have a great time together.
Can I find the largest layout in your complex for myself?
Our largest layout is 147 square meters, and it includes 4 bedrooms, an office, a kitchen with a living room of 32 square meters, and 3 bathrooms. So this is a really large apartment, not only for the former family, but probably also for the previous generation of the family.
Do I understand correctly that such large apartments are only located in June, right?
Well, yes, in the June block there are only 9 such apartments, and probably only 5 of them are left. So, the summer 365 apartments are delivered in a pre-finished state. What does that mean? In Batumi, this is sometimes called a white frame or a green frame. Ours is neither white nor green. It's somewhere in between. This is an apartment where everything is done so that you only need to wallpaper or paint the walls and lay the floors. Everything else in the apartment is done. So the wall will be in this condition. It is leveled and made in several layers. Here on the mock-up, we can see the plaster, putty, everything according to the standard for skill level 3. Radiators are installed. All communications, electrics, and plumbing are done in the apartment. Complete soundproofing and waterproofing of the apartment are carried out. The apartment includes a basic smart home kit. You will have a panel like this at the entrance. Additionally, this smart home is connected to your smartphone. What does it have? It includes protection against water leaks. Such sensors are installed in bathroom and kitchen. If you have a water leak, a special electric drive will shut off the water in your apartment. Also, there is protection against short circuits and a group of switchable sockets and lights, just like I'm doing here now. That is, it can be done from a phone. Plus, with the intercom, if guests come to your apartment and ring the doorbell, you will definitely see who has arrived here, and you will also see it on your smartphone.
So, Dim, one of the most common objections I encountered during the presentation of your complex is that there is an airport nearby, and whether it will be noisy. So, Dim, will it be noisy because of the airport?
Well, not really, because first of all, the airport here is small. Only small planes land here, and they are not very noisy. We conducted research and ordered measurements, and the sound near our complex will be no more than 50 dB. This is comparable to the rustling of leaves. So, we are at a sufficient distance, and the next thing we worked on in the complex to ensure it is not noisy is the use of proper materials. We have walls made of Uton blocks, which have high sound insulation up to 58 dB, and high-quality double-glazed windows, which also provide a good level of sound insulation. Therefore, it will be very quiet in your apartment.
I also see something here about light reflection. Can you tell me a bit more about the technology?
That's correct. These double-glazed windows are triple layered, and this outermost layer has a special coating that reflects sunlight. This means that during intense sunlight, the apartment creates a thermos effect, preventing ultraviolet rays from entering. Also, in the apartment, or rather in the complex, the walls are made with insulation and soundproofing. This is not done because it is cold in Batumi, but on the contrary, because it is warm in Batumi, and this allows for a thermos effect so that the apartment does not heat up too much inside and you have a comfortable temperature, allowing you to use your air conditioner minimally.
One of the most frequently asked questions and one of the most common problems in Batumi is mold. What have you done to prevent it in your complex?
Just like protection from heat, this element also works for proper insulation from mold in the apartment. Why does mold usually appear? Because if, for example, it is 5 degrees Celsius outside and 25 degrees in your apartment, a condensation point, also known as a contact point, appears somewhere. Often this appears in the corners of the apartment, that is, somewhere along the baseboards and so on, if the balcony, for example, is already touching the apartment. With the help of these materials, we also provide insulation for a certain wall and wall isolation. Additionally, a gap has been made here, the so-called ventilated facade, which will be ventilated and thus ensure constant ventilation. And because of this, there will be no mold in the apartment, as we have shifted the dew point outside. To be continued.
So, let's talk in more detail about the infrastructure of this complex. The infrastructure in this complex, as I already mentioned, is extremely rich. There is a cinema both outside and inside. There is a 2-level children's playground, designed for both the youngest children and older kids. In the courtyard, there will be dry fountains, dog washing stations, a fire pit area where you can relax, and places where you can connect to outlets and charge your laptop. Since Orona is quite heavily used and multifunctional with you, each of the buildings will have a spacious lobby, reception, restroom, and a mother and child room with a changing table. There will also be a place for parking bicycles and strollers, and there will be a concierge who will greet you with a smile or welcome your friends and direct you to the left to a specific elevator and tell you which floor to go to. There are elevators in each building, except for August, where there will be 3 elevators because August is the tallest building overall. The elevators will be Otis, and unlike later, the elevators will be completely free. You pay once for having a good apartment in a good complex, and then you don't have to worry about these chips, attaching them, paying for their use in the elevator. No, the elevator will be classic. You will just use them. That's the first point. Second, the infrastructure that greets you inside. This includes bakeries, restaurants, and a gourmet market covering 1,600 square meters. Laundry, coffee shop, wine bar, winery, kindergarten. That will be in this complex fitness room with a boxing area with 4 pools, including deep sports pools, regular pools, and children's paddling pools. In other words, everyone will find something in this complex that is extremely important and useful for them. It is very important, dear ladies and gentlemen, that there will be some infrastructure exclusively for the residents with access from the inside, and there will be infrastructure that people from the outside world can use. So, people from the outside world will not be able to enter the complex. They will have separate zones with elevators that they will use, and these elevators will not go any further. Infrastructure floors, that is, no one, like a random coffee buyer from the cafe located in this complex, will accidentally end up on your floor and will not be able to enter your apartment in any way. This is super important. And you might say to me, Artem, with so much infrastructure, the maintenance fee must be very high. I will tell you no, the maintenance fee will actually be within reasonable limits. It's only 60 lari per room. Yes, it is clear that the infrastructure is not included in this service fee. However, if, for example, you go away for a month or 2 and do not use this infrastructure, you do not have to pay for it. Regarding the infrastructure, there will be a separate loyalty and discount system, which will range from 10% to 30% for using these infrastructural elements. Well, you have probably already noticed where I am with you right now. This is a mural. It is a tradition of this complex. When you buy an apartment here, you traditionally drive the first nail into your apartment. Here your name will be written, your details, your apartment number, and I can tell you that this is a card of my clients. Here is another card of my clients, people who have become happy owners of apartments in this project. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important part is when all this beauty will be completed, and it will actually be very soon. It is the end of 2026, and the keys will be handed over in the first and second quarters of 2027. Considering that the apartments will be delivered in a pre-finished state, the time and money spent on renovations will not be astronomical. This is the first and most important point. And finally, the very offer from the beginning of the video from Bryonix about why our prices are more attractive than those of the developer. Only during the next month can you purchase an apartment in our company's Summer 365 project with a 3% discount, and it will be cheaper than from the developer. Is this offer advantageous? Is it interesting? What are the installment terms? And how did it happen that you can get a mortgage for a project at the foundation stage in Georgia, which is generally unheard of? Call Bryonix and we will definitely tell you everything in detail. See you, dear ladies and gentlemen, on this channel. I remind you that it was me, Artem, with you. You were on the Bryonix company channel. Like, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode. Thank you for your attention.